I would describe myself as someone very, very passionate about food. Every cuisine I take up is becomes so much of a part of me, and when I'm there, when I'm cooking something, creating a dish, I just feel that this is where I really belong. I was probably 11 or 12 when I baked my first chocolate cake, and that's when I realized it's magic. You you put a few ingredients in, and then those simple ingredients just come out to be such a beautiful product at the end. And I've always been such a creative person. I've been into dance, acting, drama, and being an artist is what really drew me to it. Because when you have guests, or when you have someone who your family appreciate what you made, that's when I realized that I need to pursue it, however hard it is. Well, I grew up in India, so we never had, say 12, 13 years ago, we never really had Food Network or Food Channel. And I still remember I was watching the news, and I see this chef on TV who does a small clipping on how to make Goan fish curry. And I see him with beautiful uniform, and the way he presents himself, and I just look up in awe, and I want to be there. I want to be there sometime, and I want to work with this chef. And I eventually did when I started my career. So I think that he was that turning point. He was that influence that really got me to realize that it's not just food. It brings along a lot of things that would, showcase my passion and talent. I think my turning point when I really started, when I realized that I should enter the kitchen and cook something, was when I was grounded. So I got into trouble for something really silly, and my cell phone was taken away from me. Everything was taken away from me. My parents were not talking to me, and I had to resort to something. And because I'm creative, I love theater. I couldn't go out for my dance class. I couldn't go anywhere. I was rummaging in my mom's cupboards, and I found all these different cookbooks that I've never seen her use. So I started reading them, and I just realized I should try something out. So it started with that one cake, and then I started making so many different things, failures. I tried to make a baked Alaska. I still remember, I didn't know that you had to whip the egg whites. I just poured egg whites over that, and I baked it. Those memories are then that's when that creativity in that field really stepped in. When I broke it to my family that I don't want to be an engineer or a doctor. I want to cook. There was so much of an uproar. There's so much of boycotting. People in my family were so unhappy that I wanted to take this up, but I eventually did. And that's when I went to college. I went to hospitality management in Jaipur, which is up north in India. And when I went to college, it was the facility in college itself wasn't designed for kitchen, but I still pushed myself. I still remember those days when I would be in that little tiny library which had probably 20 books, and I was the only one who used to be there. I was to just read sauces and French cooking, but the kitchen wasn't designed to do those, to cook that. So I would cook in my mind. I would just read all the steps. Okay, this is how you roast the vegetables, or you roast the bones to this degree, and then you add the water at this time, you season it at this time. So it was all in my mind, but I'd never done it. And at the end of those 3 years, when different hotels came to interview us to pick us up for to be placed, Taj Hotels is this major group in India that came too, and I was the first student in the history of that college to be selected as a management trainee for kitchens. And that was my breaking point. That's when I knew that if you can like cook up recipes in your head and not even do it, because I had to go to Delhi to do my final interview, where I had to cook so many of these. You're tested on like classic French dishes, and I just created them without, because I knew the steps like really well. Only 12 to 13 people are selected all over India to be a part of that program, and I was one among them. So, and even when I got in there, the rest of the 12 were so seasoned, they were well-versed, they knew what they were doing, and everything was just new to me because I had never been exposed to the culinary world in the real sense. I draw my influences from a lot of mostly it's childhood. So these small memories that help me start a dish, and then I create it by using wherever I am, whichever city I am, try to use the local influences there, as well as that little memory that then escalates that dish to a final product. I feel every dish on the menu portrays my passion towards the art, and it has influences of how I grew up, the pains that I took to be here, and the flavors are really, really authentic because I grew up in India. I have all those flavors that I grew up, experiencing. Because with Taj Hotels, I traveled so much within the country, so I've really, all those memories, I'm trying to replay those memories in this menu. So you see some of the items are random. They start off from one region and they move to another. Someone who really understands Indian food would know that there's, like for example, yesterday there was this guest we have something called the Malpe shrimp. So he says, Malpe, that's the beach I grew up on. How do you, I used to sleep for hours on that beach. So he was the only one who caught that word. So every dish like that is an influence of my growing up, my work back in India, and definitely that modern touch is when I came here. It was 3 years ago, and Junoon in New York and the chefs that have worked in America have influenced that modern element to the food. Our signatures would be the Angrezi chicken. The word Angrezi means British, so it's my take on, or our take on the butter chicken or the chicken tikka masala, because it's that dish was sort of created by the British, but the flavors are Indian. So it's the sauce is a roasted tomato sauce which has homemade butter, and our garam masala which has 27 different spices in it. Yeah. And then apart from that, we have the lamb vindaloo, which is also a British, it's a Portuguese influence, where Goan spices and Goan vinegar is used to make that lamb dish.